Drunk.
Hammered drunk.
Drunk trade of the week.
And this week's, before we get into the start sit question that's in our live chat, which we will get to right after this drunk trade. So hang on there, Dame. But before that, the drunk trade of the week comes from where else? Reddit, from Time Magnet on Reddit, who says, for the last decade, my league mates head to the casinos for the opening Thursday and Friday of March Madness. So put yourself in the Wayback Machine here. We got to go all the way back to the springtime, Dustin. But they get a bunch of rooms and unlimited drink wristbands.
Ooh.
So the real madness is the number of trades that go down. This time, I texted my buddy the night before, I'm not trading you Saquon. Stop trying. Thursday night, he offered the 102 straight up, and we had a deal done in 30 seconds. So this is kind of similar to one that we had a few weeks back. Remember, there was this big event and everybody got together and they made a conscious effort to have a trading frenzy. This is a similar type of deal. They schedule this yearly, going to the casinos. I mean, hey, if you've already lost a bunch of money from your fantasy football league that season, why not throw a few more into the pile?
True.
At the slots, you know? So love the idea again, but the trade itself. So here we are. This would have been before the rookie draft happened for 2022. So the 102 or Saquon is what you're sitting at here, Dustin. Not a lot of info. I do know this was a PPR league. Outside of that, none of it probably matters too much. Let's assume Superflex just for the sake of that pick there, to see if that swayed anything. But look, you're looking at the 102 versus Saquon. I guess, one, are you looking for a bounce back from Saquon this year?
I am. I do think Saquon's going to have a bounce back season, and we'll get into why a little bit later, perhaps. But I do expect a bounce back this year. Saquon had that weird fluky injury where he rolled his ankle and just wasn't the same after that. And he's second year removed from his ACL injury, which is always a very good thing. So I do expect him to get back on track. That being said, I would keep Saquon in this case instead of taking the 102. Even in a super flex league, none of the quarterbacks were going at the 102 in super flex drafts, at least that I saw. I'm sure it happened occasionally, but really you're looking at probably Drake London,
Breece Hall, maybe Treylon Burks.
I would expect Breece to go 101 overall in most drafts.
Maybe.
So you're probably looking at one of those wide receivers, and it's like, I guess it really depends on your team. If you're totally rebuilding, okay, the 102 straight up for Saquon, I understand. I still think you could have gotten a little bit more in the deal other than just the one pick.
I actually think back in March, this was about as good as you were going to get for Saquon, because it really did feel like people had just bailed on him because they'd gotten burned, and logically or illogically, he's injured the past 3 seasons essentially for chunks of it, certainly down production. I really do feel like people were thinking, man, this is all I'm going to get. And I'm willing to bet he smashed that accept button pretty hard on this one. Because again, rookie fever gets us all.
Absolutely.
And this wide receiver class, was very lauded, dare I say, if I can even pronounce it correctly, although it was deep. So I don't know. I think this is fair. I think
it's not egregious by any means.
Yeah. I probably would have taken the 102 if I'm being honest here, as much as I do hope for a Saquon bounce back. And I do think he will be significantly better this year than last year. He's getting up there now. 5th season, I believe, in the NFL. I'd probably take the 102. Would I regret it? Probably. Possibly. Because I would have picked somebody stupid who would have gotten kicked out of the NFL by week 3 or something. But
yeah,
I love the idea.
I mean, I don't hate the trade. Let's be honest. I don't hate it. I would have tried to get a little bit more out of it, but I mean, all in all, depending on your team construction and what you're going for, I don't mind it really.
We don't mind it, which is actually kind of a ringing endorsement for a drunk trade these days. I think if we just say we don't mind it, that's significantly better than some of the responses we've given.